Every dream you've ever had already exists right now. Stop chasing. Start tuning. This one shift rewires everything. There's a deeper truth most people never hear. Every dream you've ever held already exists in the quantum field. It isn't a fantasy waiting to be invented. It's a possibility waiting to be matched. That distinction changes everything. For decades, we've been told to hustle harder, grind longer, and treat life like a ledger where effort buys outcomes. But the quantum field operates differently. It responds to frequency, coherence, and identity, not to how many hours you put in. Imagine the field as a vast library or a cloud drive, where every potential life is stored as a file. Those files are not imaginary. They are real probabilities, waiting for the correct access code, your vibrational match. When your inner states your thoughts, emotions, and self-imaginates with a file, the field collapses that probability into your experience. That is why lucky breaks feel like miracles. They are moments when your vibration aligned with an available possibility and reality adjusted accordingly. This isn't metaphysical fluff. It's a practical lens that explains why two people with similar resumes can have wildly different outcomes. One broadcasts scarcity, second guesses, and caution. The other broadcasts quiet confidence, clarity, and expectancy. Both act, but only one signal attracts supportive circumstances. Your reality is the echo of your dominant signal. Think about the small, ordinary moments that changed your life. A chance conversation at a coffee shop, a timed email, a meeting that led to a new job. Those moments were not random. They were the field responding to someone who was emitting a match. You have children, grandchildren, a mortgage, or a business to run. These ideas matter practically. Tuning your signal affects relationships, income, and health. This is not spiritual escape. It's strategic responsibility with a spiritual engine. Understand this, and you stop chasing distant endpoints. Instead of forcing outcomes, you become the living match for them. That shift from doing to being is the single most important pivot you can make. It replaces frantic action with intelligent alignment and preserves your energy for high-leverage moves. In the next section, we'll make the idea of existing concrete, how probabilities become real, and how you can intentionally tune your day-to-day frequency to access those already present possibilities. If you're skeptical, good. Skepticism sharpens curiosity. Stay with me. The tools are easier than you think, and they fit into an ordinary life. This is where real change begins, and it starts now. When we say your dreams exist in the quantum field, the skeptical brain asks, what does that really mean? Let's translate it into everyday language so it becomes useful, not vague. Think of a radio station broadcasting a song non-stop. You don't need to believe the station exists for the music to be playing. All you need is to tune your dial to receive it. Possibilities in the quantum field are like those stations' available frequencies broadcasting outcomes you can access when you match them. Science frames outcomes as probabilities, not certainties. A probability wave contains many potential states until something causes it to collapse into one. In physics, that something is measurement or observation. In life, that something is coherent, attention, your sustained, emotional, identity-based focus. Observation in human terms is more than thought. It's heartfelt, repeated attention anchored in feeling and habit. That's what turns a probability into lived reality. This metaphor makes the process approachable. You don't need to conduct a ritual or chant a mantra to make things real. You need to teach your nervous system over time to hold the expectation and emotional tone of the life you desire. That means consistent small behaviors, daily emotional rehearsals, and identity-based choices that together act as the measurement the field responds to. Here's a practical example. Imagine a mid-career professional wanting a new role that affords more creative control and less stress. they can apply to jobs and network action. But if their baseline energy is panic or imposter doubt, the field reads panic, not readiness. However, when they begin to speak, move, and make decisions from the identity of someone who already holds that roll-calm voice, selective opportunities. Boundaries, their inner measurement changes and probability begins to collapse toward that outcome. Another way to think about this: you are the antenna. Your routine habits shape the frequency you emit. Every habit, word, and emotion nudges the dial. Some people unknowingly keep themselves stuck by repeating scarcity scripts. Others intentionally tune toward possibility by prioritizing small, coherent shifts. Either way, the mechanism is simple, consistent. Embodied attention makes a possibility more likely. Start small, stay consistent, and let the field handle the rest. Daily, every manifestation strategy you've ever heard about visualization. Affirmation scripting has one thing in common: they are all attempts to change your identity. Identity is the root code running your entire system. If you don't change the root code, you can wallpaper over it with positive thinking. But the old program will eventually reassert itself. Here's the simplest way to see it: you don't get what you want, you get what you are. If your identity is coded with "I'm always struggling," your nervous system scans reality for proof of struggle, ignoring opportunities that contradict it. If your identity is "I'm the kind of person who solves problems with ease," your attention naturally locks onto solutions, resources, and people who match that expectation. In both cases, life is simply echoing back your self-concept. Think about it like software. You can add flashy apps to your phone, but if the operating system is outdated, those apps won't run properly. The OS is your identity, your daily habits. Language and emotional tone are the interface. Upgrade the OS and everything changes. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to the consistent frequency of your being. And your being is shaped by the identity you've rehearsed for years, often unconsciously. That's why certain patterns, financial ceilings, relationship drama, career stalls, repeat. No matter how much effort you pour in, the effort is coming from the wrong level. You're pushing the wrong lever. So how do you change identity? Slowly, deliberately, and with repetition. You create micro moments of acting from the new identity, even before it feels natural. That's the paradox. You don't wait until you feel like the person you want to become. You begin behaving as if you already are that person, and the feelings catch up later. It's not about pretending. Pretending is hollow. Identity shifting is embodied. When you speak differently, move differently, decide differently, not in grand gestures, but in consistent micro-actions, you're literally sending a new signal into the field. That's why someone can go from feeling stuck for years to suddenly being in the right place at the right time, over and over. They're not lucky. They're aligned. In the next section, we'll dive into a practical, daily structure for tuning yourself so precisely that the outcomes you used to chase begin chasing you. This is where the field stops being abstract and starts becoming tangible in your everyday life. Quantum. Manifestation is not about doing something once and hoping the universe responds. It's about consistent tuning, small, deliberate adjustments that keep your frequency aligned with your desired outcome. Just like you wouldn't expect to stay physically fit from one workout. You can't expect one meditation, one visualization, or one inspired action to shift your entire reality. Consistency is the amplifier. Here's a daily structure anyone can follow. No matter how busy your life is, morning alignment 5 to 10 minutes before the noise of the day takes over. Set your emotional tone. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and vividly imagine one scene from the life you desire. The whole story, just a slice. Feel it as if it's real. This isn't daydreaming. It's programming your nervous system to expect it. Identity checkpoints throughout the day. Pause 3 to 5 times a day and ask, am I acting from the old identity or the new one? This moment of awareness keeps you from drifting into autopilot, where your old code runs unchecked. Micro-embodiment. Choose one small action daily that your future self would take. It could be sending a confident email, speaking up in a meeting, or spending 10 minutes learning a skill. Small wins reinforce the new frequency. Evening integration 5 minutes before bed. Replay your day in your mind, highlighting moments. When you acted from the new identity, celebrate them. Your brain needs acknowledgement to cement the change. The beauty of this routine is that it doesn't require radical life changes. It requires quiet, repeatable shifts that steadily alter your baseline signal. Over weeks, you'll notice synchronicities, right people, resources, and ideas arriving at the right time. Oh, this isn't coincidence. It's the field reorganizing. Around your new vibration, here's the key. Don't look for instant fireworks. This is like tuning a musical instrument. At first, the changes are subtle, but keep tuning, and one day you'll notice you're not straining anymore. Life starts playing in harmony with you. That's when you realize you're no longer chasing the dream. You're living it. Asterisk. One of the biggest traps in manifestation is believing that time is the obstacle. We think, I'll get there in 5 years, or maybe one day it will happen. But the quantum field doesn't operate on our linear timeline. It responds. 2 states of being. And those states are available now, not in the future. This is the shift most people miss. Time doesn't create your reality. Alignment does. You can be years away from your dream in the physical world, yet vibrationally aligned with it today, and that alignment starts pulling events, people, and resources toward you faster than logic would allow. Think of a radio, if you want. To hear a certain station, you don't wait 5 years for the song to play. You tune to the frequency, and instantly, the broadcast is there. The music didn't appear because you worked hard for it. It was already playing. You just had to match it. Here's what's powerful. The moment you begin feeling, thinking, and acting from your desired reality, you collapse the distance between now and then. That's why some breakthroughs feel sudden, even though from the outside, nothing seemed to be happening. Behind the scenes, you've been signaling the field, and the field has been rearranging itself to meet you. The reason most people don't experience this is because they keep telling themselves a story of later. They delay their happiness, confidence, and certainty until the results come. But in quantum terms, that's backwards. The results come because you feel happy, confident, and certain now. Here's your daily challenge. Stop postponing the emotional state you're chasing. Practice it now. Your life will start to reflect it in ways that will shock you. Most people live in reaction mode. Something happens, they respond. Someone says something nice, they feel good. Someone criticizes them, they feel bad. It's a constant yo-yo dictated by outside circumstances. In the quantum model, you flip that completely. You become the cause. Your state of being is no longer determined by the external. It creates the external. Here's why this is so powerful. When you remain emotionally steady, rooted in the identity you've chosen, you stop leaking energy to every distraction, problem, or opinion that passes by. Instead of being a leaf blown by the wind, you become the wind. Think about the most magnetic people you've met. It's not that their lives are free of challenges. It's that they carry themselves with an energy that says, I define the terms here. And because the quantum field mirrors back the signal you're emitting, reality begins to bend toward you, not the other way around. Practical application. Next time something unwanted happens, pause. Don't react. Ask yourself, if I were the version of me who already has what I desire, how would I respond right now? Then do that. This tiny gap between stimulus and response is where your power lives. when you live as the cause. You no longer wait for life to prove you're powerful, you prove it to life. That shift changes everything. Suddenly, the world stops feeling random and starts feeling like a mirror you control. One of the most misunderstood concepts in manifestation is the idea of acting as if. On the surface, it sounds like you're just pretending, like you're putting on a fake smile or fooling yourself into believing something you don't. That's why so many people dismiss it before they've truly understood it. But in the quantum world, acting as if is not about playing make-believe. It's about embodying the identity of the person who already has what you want. Think about it this way. Your future reality is like a radio station broadcasting at a specific frequency. If you want to tune in to that reality, you have to match the signal. Acting as if is your way of matching that signal now. Not when the thing arrives, not when life gives you proof, but in advance. When you do this, something shifts. In you, you carry yourself differently. Your voice changes. Your posture straightens. You begin making decisions from a place of certainty instead of hesitation. You stop asking, "Will this work?" and start moving from the knowing that it already has. That shift in energy, that unshakable inner stance, is what triggers the quantum field to respond. Here's an example. Imagine two people both want to start a successful business. The first one waits until everything is perfect: the website, the logo, the funding. They tell themselves, "Once I have all that, I'll finally feel like a real entrepreneur." The second one decides to be a real entrepreneur right now. They start showing up every day with that energy. They talk about their vision as if it's already unfolding. They make bold moves that align with that identity. Guess which one the universe mirrors back with opportunities? This is not about delusion. It's about alignment. Athletes do it before big games. Performers do it before walking on stage. They visualize the moment. They rehearse the feelings. They immerse themselves in the identity of someone who has already won. And here's the kicker. The brain and body can't fully tell the difference between a vividly imagined reality and one that's physically happening. That's why this works, even if you don't fully believe it yet. You're training your subconscious to accept the new identity as truth. The real challenge is consistency. Anyone can act as if for 5 minutes after reading a book or watching a motivational video. But the people who see quantum level shifts are the ones who hold that energy through the dips, through the days when nothing seems to be happening, through the moments when doubt whispers in their ear. Those are the moments that define whether the shift locks in. Because here's the truth. The universe doesn't respond to occasional sparks of belief. It responds to sustained frequency. And acting as if is how you lock in that frequency long enough for the outer world to catch up. So the question isn't, can I fake it until I make it? The real question is, can I embody it until it becomes me? If acting as if is the accelerator in manifestation, detachment is the release that lets the engine run smoothly. And yet, this is the step most people get wrong. They think detachment means giving up, lowering expectations, or not caring anymore. In reality, detachment is about removing desperation from your energy so the universe can deliver without resistance. Here's the paradox. The more you chase something with an energy of "I need this" or "I'm incomplete," the more you push it away. Why? Because that energy sends a signal to the quantum field that you don't already have it. And the quantum field reflects back exactly what you're broadcasting. Desperation is the frequency of lack, and lack attracts more lack. Detachment, on the other hand, is rooted in trust. It's saying, "I've already aligned with this reality in my mind and body. I've tuned in to the frequency. I've done my part. Now I let go and allow it to come in its own perfect timing." That doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means you stop forcing outcomes and start following inspired nudges instead. Think about planting a seed. If you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing, you trust the process. You water it, give it sunlight, and let nature take over. In manifestation, your belief, visualization, and aligned actions are the planting. Detachment is allowing the unseen forces to do their work without constant interference. One of the greatest examples of this comes from athletes who play loose under pressure. When they're obsessed with the outcome, scoring the winning goal, making the perfect shot, their body tenses, their movements become rigid, and mistakes happen. But when they've done the preparation, locked in the mindset, and then simply play from flow, magic happens. They perform at their peak because they're not strangling the moment with fear. The same principle applies to quantum manifestation. When you cling too tightly to a result, you create energetic tension. But when you let go, while still knowing it's yours, you open the space for it to appear, often faster than you imagined. Detachment also protects you from emotional burnout. If your happiness depends solely on something arriving right now, you'll ride a constant emotional roller coaster. But when you detach, your joy becomes independent of the result. You live in gratitude for the present moment while still being excited for what's coming. That combination, gratitude plus expectation without desperation, is a magnetic force in the quantum field. So here's the shift. Instead of asking, when will it show up? Start asking, who can I be? Today, that's already living in that reality. Then live that answer fully and let the timing take care of itself. Remember, the universe works best when you stop trying to control every detail and start trusting the unfolding. Your role is alignment. The universe's role is delivery. And when you master detachment, you finally let it do its job. Everything we've explored so far, belief, alignment, emotional frequency, acting as if, and detachment has been leading you to this moment. Because the real magic of quantum manifestation isn't just about attracting a single goal or object into your life. It's about transforming you. You are not the same person who started listening to this. Somewhere between these words, your mind began to stretch. Your vision of yourself began to expand. You started to see that you're not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the creator of them. You are no longer someone hoping that life will hand you something better. You are someone who decides what better looks like and calls it into reality. Here's the truth. The quantum version of you already exists. That confident, abundant, unshakable version of yourself is not years away. It's right here, in the now, waiting for you to step into it. And every thought you think, every choice you make, every belief you hold is either moving you toward that version or keeping you where you are. So what will it be? Will you keep replaying the same old patterns, telling the same old stories of limitation, or will you rewrite your script? Will you start telling a story that pulls you into a new frequency? One where you are already the person who lives the life you've been dreaming of. Because here's the secret no one ever told you. You don't need proof to start. You don't need the money in your bank account to feel wealthy. You don't need the perfect relationship to feel loved. You don't need the title or recognition to feel worthy. You decide to feel it now, and reality will bend to match. And when doubts creep in, because they will, you remember this. The quantum field doesn't reward the loudest person, the most desperate person, or even the most talented person. It responds to the most aligned person, the one who knows who they are, the one who walks into every room with the quiet certainty that what they desire is already theirs. So step into it. See the life you want. Feel it. Live it now. And let the rest of the world catch up. Your power has been here all along. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. You are the creator, the architect, the painter of your own canvas. And every moment from here forward, you get to decide what masterpiece you're going to create. The quantum version of you is ready. It's time to step into it and never look back.